Doom, 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 doom. Okay, here we go. Just going to see if we actually, I've got something a little bit different. I don't know if you can see it. Let me just see if I can put my hands up. I've got my wireless lavalier mic on today and trying a little bit new. Just want to make sure, in fact, we've got some sound because I'm using this for the first time. And let's see. Just checking on another machine. And it sounds pretty silent. So let's just try one more time here. I'm going to try something else just to make sure. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I got it. We're working. Perfect. Okay, so what are you watching? This is our regular Wednesdays at 1. It's an open classroom. Anything that you have about questions, you want to know anything about training sites, teaching online, all of that good stuff here to help you out. And I'll do my best to make sure that I answer any questions if any come along. And if no one comes on, that's cool too, because I've always got lots to share when it comes to creating online courses, building training sites, using ActiveCampaign, BuddyBoss, LearnDash, all of these great tools for building online campuses and building an education business, which is really, really, really fun once you get into it. And the thing that's kind of interesting when I'm sending out, whenever I do these, I don't necessarily have a specific topic in mind, but I send out a reminder email just to let people know that I'm going to be on. And some people subscribe to the channel and subscribe to my email list and all of the different things that we're doing. And some people leave, which is cool because it lets me know that people have raised their hand and say, hey, I'm not interested. I don't want to learn about creating online courses. I don't want to learn about online campuses. And you know what? That's fine. That's okay. And being focused and understanding who you're helping is probably probably one of the most important things you can do on a regular basis. Because if you've been doing this for a long time, which I have, you can get a little either bummed out because you get a little bit unfocused and you have trouble keeping consistent and remembering that it's the people's questions that you need to answer, not the questions that you need to answer. And I'm reminded of this because with some of the clients that we have who are really, really, really experts in their field, it's very difficult for people creating their first course or their education business building it, is that you always think that you have to show the latest and greatest and something new. And that's because you, as the person who is the instructor or the expert, is always looking for the next thing. And you looking for the next thing is not the same as the person you're trying to help needing their specific questions answered. So any of the time that someone either subscribes to an email or leaves the email list or subscribes to a channel or comments on something, the thing to keep in mind is staying focused on what are the questions that the other people that you're trying to help have. And I've covered this on a couple different ways of doing it. Ask the Public, for example, is a really, really cool site. We did a whole video on that one. And if you haven't seen that before, go to teachonline.io and join the community there. And I did a whole bunch of videos on how to use that tool to find out what other people are asking or other people want to know. But just to stay focused on a regular basis of what are the questions that come up? What are the things that people need to know about what it is that you are sharing? Now, we're sharing an outcome. The question is, what are the pieces or the steps or the process to that outcome? And we have to make sure that the outcome that we're sharing is the outcome that the people who you're helping actually want. And staying focused on what they want, not necessarily what you think they want. And that can be really difficult because when you're playing around with this, you're going, you see something new and you might want to share it, but if it's not something that's of interest to people, is it really worth it? So I try and do these sessions, try and leave them so they're open. If people want to ask questions, they do. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're afraid. Sometimes they're not afraid. And, if you're watching this after the fact, again, don't be afraid to join teachonline.io. Get into the groups, the forums, discussion, watch the videos, and that's probably a little safer space for some people. And more timely, self-directed learning. That's the opportunity there for you today. So I wanted to do a couple things that came up kind of on questions that I've had in the last little while. And there's two things that I'll touch on today. And again, this is being recorded. It'll be on teachonline.io, so you'll be able to go and watch it after the transcripts, all the information that's there. But there's two things that came up in questions that I wanted to share or go over today and just spend a little bit of time on because they're questions that people have asked me. And if you haven't seen before, one of the things that I often do, let's open this one up here, is I will often go and talk about, let me open my screen here, just make sure we got a screen happening in the background. Yeah, so this one is, a question people have is, let me minimize these, we'll go over them in detail. But some of the questions that we get are, what are the different ways to earn money from your membership site? What are the different ways that you can earn money with your community? And you're building a learning campus, you're building this on-site online site. What are the things that you want to be able to do? So let me open this as a slideshow. This is actually Wondershare eDrawMind. The other one I use is XMind. I keep these for writing notes, and you can see I've got a little bit of a note here. Let me just zoom this in a bit for you so you can see it. There we go. So, and I'll put this as a presentation, but this is one of the tools that I use when I'm writing notes or thinking about putting stuff together, and really, having it clear in my mind in a visual way that allows me to look at it and say, okay, I got it. So this one is about, people are asking me 13 ways to earn money or generate income from your membership site or your courses, your community, your campus. So I'll touch on that one today. And then the other thing I just want to do is go over the steps in the campus blueprint, because that's the other thing that I need to spend more time focusing on when it comes to the people that are learning about education businesses and online courses. There's actually 8 steps that you have to go through if you're going to start, build, and grow an education business. There's some other steps and processes in there. And if for the big picture, if someone wants to sell courses, if someone wants to create courses, if someone wants to build a community, you're going to have to follow these steps or processes. And these 13 ways to generate income are just part of the plan. Now you might be asking, why did you come up with these 13 ways? And if you haven't seen before, on some of the other videos I talked about my pickleball friends. And my pickleball friends is a side project that is not necessarily around building and selling courses, but it's about building and monetizing users in a community that happen to be interested in pickleball. And that was a project that I've been building, sharing a little bit about it. We've actually got the mobile app now. It's on the Play Store and the App Store, available for download. And if you go to, if you go to the Play Store and App Store and look for My Pickleball Friends, you can go and download a copy to see how that works. We've also got the site, which is the community site that we built with BuddyBoss and WordPress to put that together. And the reason I put these 13 ways together was because I wasn't going to be selling courses. It's not about selling courses. So how am I going to monetize these communities or these campuses that we're building? And there's kind of different areas here that we'll look at, and I think the ones that are interesting to me anyway are the blended ones, which we'll cover in a sec. But I'll just, the 4 kind of big ones we have there. The first 2 are, you gotta basically charge your members. So if you are going to have a membership site or anything that is gated, which means that someone either has to register for access to the site or provide an email address to be able to sign in or log in to that community, there's two kind of ways to think about it. So the first one is create a premium membership. And what you can do with that one is that you have a basic membership to your community, and then you add an enhancement or a premium membership that adds additional pieces or additional content or additional resources to the community site. So that's the premium membership. That's one of the ways to charge your members. And they'll then sell premium content, which is another way to do it. And one of the things that you can do there is not do a one-off fee as a membership that gives access to everything, but you can do content that is premium content over and above your campus membership or to your members. And one of the ones here, the first one I just want to talk about is a flagship course or a mini course. This is one that we've used successfully before, and the way that that works is that you kind of have three levels to your site. The first one is that you go, great, you got to register to get access to it. So your cost to get in is your email address and your name. You have to register, or you have to pay with your email address to be able to get in to be a member. The other thing to do after that is you can do some kind of mini course, which is, think of it as a tutorial or a broken down how-to. Have that as a mini course that you can sell as an individual mini course. And or you can have a flagship course, which is like a mastery course. And give away the mini course, upsell to the mastery course. So we're charging our members by providing mini courses or micro courses for free or with free limited time access. And then you have a mastery course that gets added to that. I'll give you an example of how we did that here. Let me just pull one up. So for example, here, if we go to the training sites site, you'll see we've got the courses. And if I click on courses, you're going to see on this one that we have our mastery courses that are available here. And we've got the Campus Mastery, Learn-Mastery, Active Campaign Mastery, and Course Mastery. So we've got these mastery courses that are available to us. And I'm just going to not take this call right now. So we've got the mastery courses that are available, and those ones are paid. And then we also have mini courses. And mini courses, and the way that I've set them up is they're anywhere from maybe 3 to 7 lessons. And they're shorter lessons. A mini course might be an hour to an hour and 10 minutes, maybe some 10 or 15 minute lessons or modules inside. So we've got a whole bunch of those available. Some of these are free, some of them are paid. And then we have micro learning, which are 1 to 2 lessons. And sometimes this is often a bonus tutorial or something that was done as a live session or any kind of in-class place where you're capturing your digital exhaust, and we're putting that in. So the way that this is set up is that you give away some micro learning, you give away some mini courses as an example, or you charge for those individually. It's not a premium membership. They don't get access to everything, but they have to purchase individual items or mini courses or the macro course, the mastery course to get in on those. So those are some of the ways to do it with a flagship and a mini course. So the other thing you're going to see now, and this is interesting because when I first started, there was a lot of focus on a newsletter, a weekly newsletter. So people looked forward to a newsletter, and sometimes a newsletter was once a month. Then some people started doing it weekly, and what we're seeing now is this whole idea of a newsletter being a email that has consumable content within the body of the email. Or it's not just about one thing, it contains access to multiple topics or multiple valuable information that is of value to someone who has subscribed to the newsletter. So some people actually have paid newsletters now. It's a lot of great information, and it's not just links to stuff on your site. You get in-depth analysis, in-depth updates, in-depth information, and it's in the form of a paid newsletter. So we're seeing a lot more of that now. Again, that really takes a commitment to creating valuable content, but it is a way to monetize some of your members who are people on your list, might be part of your community, but you want to give them additional information and charge them for that. Premium courses is kind of in with the flagship course, or premium courses, which is the mastery course as an example. Premium events. This one is blended in with, as an example, with live events. So the other thing that you'll see is if you have a community or a group of people, you may have live events where it's either you that is hosting the live event, or you are part of an event where other people, other speakers, other content creators are involved, but it's a premium event. You got to pay for it. And that's another way, if you have that kind of community that is interested in networking with other people, it involves being involved with other people, other resources available. Premium events is a great way to go, and you'll see some people that do this on a regular event, whether it be a quarterly, biannually or yearly event, where they base their whole business around doing some kind of premium event. Premium services. This one is the one that I think a lot of people don't take advantage of as much as they should. This is the one that I like personally because, for example, we have the teachonline.io site where we have all of our how-to information, self-directed, self-taught information about starting, building, or growing an education business. On the other hand, we have trainingsites.io, which is the done-for-you service that we basically do all of the things. Like, we can create courses for you, we can do your social media, we can do your email marketing, we can build your online campus, we can do the support for your online campus. But anything to do with creating and selling courses or communities or stuff involved in your training site or an education business, we can do that for you. So I have members, but I can provide premium services for people who are partial members of my community. Premium blended courses we'll get into a little bit. Swag, that's one that you'll see with people who have a large subscriber base who are not necessarily monetizing them with courses. Some people will just sell merchandise, whether that be Printify or any of the other tools that do direct drop shipping. So, you basically have your storefront with other products or services with your brand on it. People order it, you earn a commission from it. Clubs, donations, these are other ways as well to get people to who are subscribed to you, who are involved in your community, whether it be online on YouTube or some of the other social media platforms. But it just gives you an opportunity to say, hey, help me out here. It's one thing to subscribe to my channel or subscribe to my YouTube channel where I can generate some revenue with ads and sponsorships, that kind of thing. Those are all there, and that's selling premium content. So that's charging your members directly. The next one I just want to look at here is, this is kind of an interesting one because it's, in some respects, it's blended from your own content, but this is earning money from your members. And what do I mean by that? The one that I really think that there should be a lot of focus on is the promote affiliate products. And again, this is something that was really important a number of years ago. When I first started, there was not a lot of people didn't have courses. And it was very, very difficult actually to create content. You have to remember that the ebook was kind of a new thing when we first started out. And, an Adobe PDF was like, holy mackerel, a PDF. We don't have to have a Word document. We can sell digital content. And people were in a hurry to try and create books. And if they couldn't create books or their own digital content, they actually tried to sell physical content or other people's content. So promoting affiliate products, again, has now become another great revenue streams if you don't have your own content, but you have a community of people who are interested in what it is that you share, what it is that you do, and the information that you bring, the entertainment that you bring with your community. And a couple of things to look at here. Partner deals, and this is what you'll find on people who are doing blended or complementary products and services. So you'll see partner deals where, for example, you either promote one of the tools that you use with your customers. So for example, one of the things that we do as a partner deal is ActiveCampaign. We have a white label version of ActiveCampaign, and in fact, we give away ActiveCampaign accounts to some of our customers who are purchasing premium services from us. But that's a partner deal. We resell ActiveCampaign to our clients and we generate revenue. We actually do the billing, but we get a discount because we partnered with ActiveCampaign, and we keep that additional income that comes from us paying a little bit less as a partner. Affiliate networks. Affiliate networks doesn't mean you have to reach out to each person individually who has a product. There are places like ClickShare, I think, and ClickBank where there's hundreds and thousands of people who have products and services that they're marketing already, and we can become an affiliate or join an affiliate network that has access to all of these products and services and just promote them. Sponsored content. This is when you'll see in a lot of people in the social media networks who have large communities there, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Instagram. And that's when you, as the expert, go and promote things in exchange for money or some kind of compensation from the company you're promoting, but you're doing it to your community. So those are some important ones there. Advertising, again, don't be afraid of advertising. If you have a website, you have a community of people, you can charge for placement there. Again, that happens on your website and on social media. It can be paid ads, it can be branded material, or you can integrate ad networks on your site. Now, there are some downsides to that, and just remember that every time you put other people's ad networks on your site, you're giving your traffic an opportunity to leave your site. So you kind of got to think those ones through. I just want to talk about a marketplace for a second in terms of monetizing your community, and this is something that I struggled with personally and I do a little bit still, but it's something to think about when you're depending on the market you're in. I'll give you an example. I had another project which was in the home design, home decoration kind of area, and one of the things that I thought that would work really well was taking care of the e-commerce, the shipping, the delivery, everything on the website. On the other hand, unless you have a large community, it's often very hard to get in front of enough people to get them on your, in your shop to get the sales that you need to make it a viable project. So marketplaces are online shops that are public shops where multiple vendors go to sell. For example, when we started off, Etsy was just getting started. And if you haven't been to Etsy, it's a place where DIY, mostly home or personal products, and I don't know if it's services, but personal products, things are sold that relate a little bit more specifically to that space. But there's a whole marketplace that's there, though. You can go sell your products or services. You can send your community there and use a marketplace. The big upside to this, of course, is there's 1 million people that go to Etsy each month. If there's 20 people that go to your website, you're far more likely to get a little bit of traffic from Etsy than you are from just trying to promote your own particular site. And again, paid directories is sort of a little bit of a variation on that, where you can actually pay to be in a directory or be on some kind of marketplace and get some premium spots. So, I just wanted to kind of touch on these because we've got charge your members, earn from your members. Now, why is this important when we look at my pickleball versus, for example, teachonline.io? If I'm looking at a community-focused site, I'm going to have more luck earning from my members as I get the number of members to grow. On the other hand, if I'm focusing on building a learning site that is about courses as the main form of content, not user-generated content like on a community site, you're more likely to have to focus on the products and or services that are related to the courses. So it's like charge your members for your content, or charge other people or monetize your existing or customers or community that you build by making sure that you use outside sources of income. So these are two different things to really think about when you're building out your campus, you're building out your learning site. Which one is it? Which is the one that I'm going to use? Which is the one that's important to me? Which is the one that I'm best going to spend my time on? So those are kind of interesting. I think just when you're looking at all of this getting started with all these membership sites and campuses again and selling courses, just understand where you're at with these. Now, I'm just going to talk about selling courses and choosing blended, because here's the other pieces here. Remember, I think I had 13 that I kind of came up with. Let's look at this one. Selling courses. I saw recently a video from someone, and there's two kind of, here's the two kind of schools of thought with membership sites and or selling courses. You can close everything down super tight so that there's nothing that's available to the public unless they actually pay to access your courses or your content. So it's kind of a closed shop, right? The other one is you use individual courses and sell individual courses for free. And what does that do? It allows people to pay with their email address, where you then give them access to a course or a portion of a course and give them kind of a taste or a little bit of a freebie or a trial of what it is that the big picture is about. And that's really about buying your community at that point. What you're doing is you're saying, hey, I'll give you a course or part of a course or a mini course or micro course in exchange for your name and your email address and the right to market to you in the future. So in selling courses, some people close it down, some people open it up, portions of it, and the reason they do that is to build their list. And either way, if you're going to be doing this and you want to sell courses, you're either going to have to get traffic or the right to build an email list, a social media profile, a customer's community base. You're either going to have to collect those email addresses or build a huge social media network and have some influence in your platform, or you're going to have a list to be able to sell people and go out and start marketing to them with email. And don't be afraid. My gist on this is email is not going away. It hasn't gone away for 25 years. It's not going away. It is another form of a direct connection to someone on their devices when they're not on your website. So whether it's instant messaging, your own app, an email, social media that's coming in that people are consuming, it's just one of those channels to really hang your hat on. Selling courses. Are you going to sell a single course? Do you want to sell a course? Do you want to sell a bundle of courses? Or do you want to sell access to all of the courses? 3 different levels here. If you this only makes sense, of course, if you have multiple courses. So if you only have one course, it's like sell your course. You can give away some of the lessons or portions of the course, but if you have one course, that's one way of doing it. But at the end of the day, if you only have one course, you're going to have to charge for it if that's the way your business is set up. Group courses is kind of neat, and this is the way that I've kind of built it out with a hub and spoke model. Is you're a campus builder, you're building an online campus. What are the pieces that are about starting the campus? What about building your courses? What about growing and marketing your campus? Those are all spokes, right, to that main hub of building an education business, building an online campus. So can you group courses, or do you have a number of courses that relate to marketing your campus? Do you have a bunch of courses that you can bundle together that are about building the WordPress site or the training site that you're actually creating for that? So you can group them and bundle them together as some kind of discount. So for example, you have one course at $97, at one course, $47. And then you can say, hey, if you want to just know about setting up your campus and what's involved in all of the different tools that you need for LearnDash and BuddyBoss and all of the plugins for WordPress, if you're doing it in WordPress, and how to set those up and how to use those, you have a bundle of courses and you charge $297 for 5 courses, or an example, or $297 for 7 courses that cover all of the different plugins. So you build or bundle into subsections of your hub. The great part is of these, of course, is if you have your master course first, you can just slice and dice parts out to monetize existing content. The other way of doing it is if you know that you have a bundle of courses, you can create the bundle and then plug it into the hub, which is the master course. So that's about grouping courses and charging different amounts for individual courses and or for grouped courses. So if you're going to do it by courses and you're going to do it in a way that is for individual pieces, that's one thing. The other thing you can do is you can say, you know what? I got 40 courses. I got 50 courses. It's really hard to actually sell a course, or sometimes people can get overwhelmed because there's too many choices and they don't see how it necessarily fits into what it is that they're trying to accomplish. So that's when you do a membership for your courses and you say, look, you want to get access to all the courses at once. Here it is, price for a month. Here it is, price for a year. Here it is, price for lifetime. You can start with a free trial. You can get people involved in that respect. And that really becomes something that you need to think about. What is the learning track, or what is the experience or the courses that you need to build out in your campus? And if you look at this in real life, it's like you've got semesters, you've also got years. So if you go to university and you have 101 courses, next year you got 201 courses, year after that you got 301 courses, but there's a learning track or a set progression of the information that you need. So if you're going to be doing something that's a yearly, monthly, lifetime one, it's a good idea to have some kind of learning track that you guide people through. The other thing you can do is just ongoing courses. You just say, hey, look, here's your one-time price. Ongoing, it gets added. So selling courses, again, a way to monetize your community, different ways of doing it. You should really decide up front on how you're going to do that. Here's the one I think, again, that when you sell courses and choose in blending, one of the holy grails for all of these things with online courses, you just go, I'm going to create a course once, and then miraculously, I'm going to start earning money on the monthly basis because everyone's going to buy it, and I don't have to talk to anyone. I don't have to be involved with anyone. It's just going to happen, and I create a course. I earn money from the course for the rest of my life. My opinion, doesn't happen that way. For a number of reasons, we won't get into them right now, but I think there's more than that involved, and you're going to have to really spend some time with that. And that's why I think the real value in these campuses is blended learning. And what do I mean by that? So if you get into blended income streams, what it allows you to do is just that. Let me just go and we'll zoom. There we go. It allows you to take a look at, charge your members for access to more than the courses and that premium content, generate income from the affiliate streams and stuff that you have that isn't your content, that is access to other people's content with your expertise, sell the courses, and make sure that it's a complete solution for people that also involves yourself. When I'm talking about blended learning, I think the real value on these ones is when you get involved as the expert and make yourself part of the solution live and in real time, and whether that's webinars or Zoom calls or one-on-one sessions, but it allows you to charge money or extra time from still being involved with the customer. And I think there's huge value in that, and I think the real value here is improve for the community, customer, and you. This allows you to keep in touch with what are the courses that need to be added and or improved, what is the feedback that you're getting, and more importantly, what are the questions that people have. And as much as you do a course on, it's never, ever, ever a perfect answer for everyone. People always will have situations that are unique to them, very difficult for them to get the answers that they need. And I think there's real value to blend all of these in together. And that's really about having an education business, which I think is kind of cool, because when you're in that situation and you're going to go and say, okay, wow, let's go back and life eater. When you're in that situation, you've got a chance to really, really, really have fun sharing what it is that you know and that you do, and telling people about your journey and how it actually worked for you. So that's really kind of cool, and I think that's something that you should always consider about building these out. Now, I'm just going to open another screen here for myself, and what I want to do is I'm just looking on another screen here. We'll make sure I'm in the right place. But I want to talk about the campus blueprint that we have. And the reason that I want to talk about this is that there's the two first steps that I think in the whole campus blueprint that you really have to focus on. It's actually three. And let me just open these. I'll talk about the first one. If you want to download the map, it's in teachonline.io, and we go through this in detail. But the first thing that you want to do is, if you're building your education business, you're building a campus, you're growing your community, you want to monetize your community, the first thing you have to do is start capturing your digital exhaust. And what I mean by that is what we're doing right now. I'm live in front of the camera. I did a mind map that was done for my own use, but I used it here. But everything that you do that is digital, that allows you to help or clarify what it is you're providing or the solution that you're providing, capture it and just keep it. And the reason is this ability to use the existing material that you're already creating simplifies dramatically the length of time it takes to create finished courses or finished material. And when we're looking at the last section there, I said it's about content you create, or it's about content your community creates. So is it user-generated content or self-generated content? And it can be very difficult for you to just come up with stuff, but if you're already doing it with people as your regular interactions in your regular digital life, just capture it and repackage it or repurpose it into courses, into content that you can use to monetize. So the first thing you got to do is make sure that you're capturing your digital exhaust, and capture as much as you can, and have a good system for organizing it so that you know these are particular answers to questions that people have in specific areas. And how can I keep those in order? How can I fit them in or allow myself to go back and recall them? So number one, capture your digital exhaust. Got to start doing that now, and have a system in place to do that. When you're coming to this part of the organization of that digital exhaust, one of the things to really do, and this is step two, is you've got to make sure that if you're going to build an education business, if you're going to build a campus, if you're going to be involved in monetizing your community, you better make sure you have some goals or some outcomes, not only for yourself, but for the people that you're trying to help. So the first thing is, you got to be very, very clear on the purpose or the problem that you solve for other people. Not what you think they need, but what they tell you they need. For example, I know that the people that I talk with on a regular basis, they have trouble and or want to create online courses. That's the first thing that they want to do. The second thing is they want to be able to sell them, but they don't have the time to create all of the material that they need to sell it. And more importantly, they don't know how to market it once they have it. So I run into people that actually kind of do get a course together, but they don't know how to, they capture digital exhaust, but they don't know how to turn it into a course, package it as a course. They don't know how to put it into a campus, and they're unsure on how they're supposed to market a course or market a membership. So those are the things that we help people do. And you've got to be very clear, whether it's playing guitar, whether it's decorating, anything that you are the expert in, you have to make sure that you have listed out the problems that you solve and who it is that you're helping. And be able to make some big fat claims that, grab people's attention so that they go, hey, that's exactly the problem that I have. And yes, this is what it's costing me, that problem, and I'm looking for a solution. So you need to have that internalized for yourself based on what the feedback and the research you're doing about what people actually want. And then that's on the outside. On the inside, you better have some campus goals for yourself. What am I talking about? Headcount, revenues, reach. These are all traditional business things that you really have to think about. What is the goal for me personally? It's like, what's the goal for the customer or the person I'm helping? What's the goal for me personally? So those are the things you really want to make sure you have outlined, put together. And this is the last one I just want to talk about. And it's about picking a business model. I was talking previously about these 13 ways to generate money. You have to kind of go and say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is the problem that I solve. This is the question I'm answering for people. These are my goals that I'm looking for. How am I going to do it? You're going to have to pick some of those 13 ways, starting off with some, growing into others. But you have to kind of figure out what it is that you want to try or use as your business model. And the big one up front is you got to decide, am I going to focus on courses? Am I going to focus on community at the start and halfway through and at the end? Where does this all fit in? Where's my focus going to be? Am I an expert in content? I'm really, really, really interested in sharing my content or teaching people how to do something. Obviously, you're going to work on some courses or focus on courses and selling those courses. On the other hand, if you're a great networker and you know that there's a group of people that have answers that you don't necessarily have, and by sharing them with other people, there's value there, hey, maybe work on focusing on the community first. Excuse me. So, teach online, courses, my pickleball friends, community. Make sure you understand which one you're going to start with and how that fits into your business model. Because once you decide that, then you're going to have to look at, am I going to charge my members for my content, for my courses, or the content and materials that I have and the services I provide, or am I going to monetize my community by generating revenue outside of my content, and then focusing on the numbers and the community that you build? Okay, so courses, membership levels, user-generated content, affiliate outside income, or internal income, which is through the courses. And you got to pick on these. These are the first 3 steps. It's like, capture the stuff you're already doing, understand the questions that you're answering and the problems that you solve, putting together your process for solving that and having some goals on that, and then finally picking a business model. Because and I'm just going to, I want to just touch on this too, because when you pick a business model, you don't pick all of the revenue streams at the start. Keep them in the back of your head, but at least start with a couple. And the reason I say that is because if you're going to market your solution for people, you have to make it easy with those big fat claims up front and have an easy way to get people engaged with you and become part of your community. If you've already got a community, that's one thing. If you don't have a community, you have to be a little more specific on the way you're generating income, the way you're generating revenue. But focus on 1 or 2 of those income streams at the start, and know that it may not be the one that works. You've got to be flexible. Have a set period of time that you're going to use that. Is it getting you towards the goals that you've got for your campus goals, your head count, your revenue streams? Is it something that's connecting with people? And it doesn't mean if that one way of marketing it doesn't work, or that one business model that you thought would be the one that people picked up on, doesn't mean that you give up. It just means that you have to take a look at, either the campus goals that you have and or more importantly, the business model that you've picked or started out with. So set yourself some kind of goal and say, look, I need a head count of this amount by this period of time. This is the business model I'm going to use that, or the way I'm going to generate income or revenues or community, course content, all of this stuff. Try it, see what happens. And if it doesn't work, try something else. Don't give up completely on it. If you've done the research and you know that enough people have questions about what it is that you're teaching. So I just wanted you to kind of think about those things as you're getting started out building your campus, your education business. And that is, what are the revenue streams that I'm going to focus on? Is it going to be on my content, or is it going to be on my users' content? That's the first thing. 13 different ways we cover to kind of generate revenue there. And then the campus blueprint, 3 first steps. Capture your digital exhaust. Make sure that you have some campus goals that answer the question or the big problem that people are having and how you can solve it. And then figure out what it is that you need to have for your campus from a business perspective. And then decide on a business model on how you're going to generate revenue. Your own content internally, user-generated content, and external income, or some blended one in between that. Think those ones through and play around with them. So I think I'll wrap that up today. Went 46 minutes. I get started on these, and this is ad hoc. I was just looking at some of the mind maps that we use, the digital exhaust that I've captured, and these are things that allow you to clarify and put together ideas and processes and share those on your own training site. And if you want a training site and you don't know where to start, you need help with it, and you want it done with you and or for you, make sure to go to trainingsites.io. That's our agency side. If you are a do-it-yourself type and you just need clarification on something, you want an individual course, or you want to go through the Campus Blueprint Mastery course where we go through all of the 8 steps in a lot of detail, go to teachonline.io. Both of them are there to help you out. Both of them are all about helping you start, build, and grow your education business and build an online campus where you can sell your own content or you can monetize your community's content. So hope you enjoyed this. What will I do now? Let's go and we'll stick with the live feed. I think what I'm going to do now is we're going to get ready to call this the end of this Wednesday open classroom. If you do have questions, make sure to go and register at teachonline.io. It's free to join. All sorts of great courses there. It's going to cost you, though, an email address and your name to get started. So take care. Expect the best. We'll talk to you again next week.